Okay, hello guys. It is Jasmine from Beauty in the Network, and I'm so excited that you are here for this free workshop all about how you can book high-end brides to your bridal beauty business. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. We're going to be going over some of the strategies that I use in my bridal beauty business currently right now, and some that help me really propel my business and get it off the ground and get it seen. I'm going to be sharing a couple of things with you today. In this training, I'm going to be giving you a handful of details that's going to hugely benefit your business. So I do want to make sure that you know that we're going to be here for about 45 minutes, maybe to an hour. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that aren't in some of the slides. So make sure that you do have a notebook, pen, paper, maybe some highlighters if you're a highlighter girl, because we're going to be taking some massive notes. If you did upgrade your workshop experience and you did get the workbook, that workbook is going to help you. If not, you can still get huge benefit and value based upon, some of the things that I'm going to be telling you here today in this training. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So today, in this training, I'm going to be going over the steps that you need to take in your bridal beauty business to get seen online and set up your business for success, as well as attracting your dream clients more consistently and how to be more intentional with your prices, content, diversifying your passive income sources. I'm going to be sharing with you how I make money passively within my bridal company in different tiers of like income, in different tiers of what the actual service or product virtual it is that I make that money off of. And I'm also going to be sharing with you how you can sell your services without sounding like you're being a pushy salesman, and how to set up your business for long-term success. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So if you are currently struggling with any of these points here, then this training is definitely going to be for you. So if you have been, being consistent, showing up on Instagram, maybe even posting in a few Facebook pages, and still it's nothing, still it's crickets, you're not booking your dream clients, or if you are attracting clients, people are saying like you're too expensive, or that you want like somebody a little bit cheaper, right? Or you might be seeing other hair and makeup artists that might have got started around the time that you did, or they're new in the game and they're already seeing massive success, and you want to know, what do they have that I don't have? What do they know that I don't know? And how can I get there, right? Also, if you've been a talented artist, a hairstylist, makeup artist, haircut artist, all of that, if you have been experienced in the industry for years, but still you're not seeing the results that you are wanting, or you feel like your career isn't as far ahead of as what you thought it would be, right? So this training is definitely going to be for you if you're feeling any of those things. At the very end of this training, if any of the tips and details that I give you today, if you find them helpful, I am going to be letting you guys know how you can continue to work with me and get some of my tips, tricks, and trainings. But before I dive into all of the fun, all of the nitty gritty, let me first quickly introduce you to me, just so you know who the heck I am, where I've come, and what my business is looking like right now, so you know who you are learning from. So I am Jasmine Jones. I am 26. I'll be 27 in October, but I own a bridal hair and makeup company. It's called Alter Image Bridal Hair and Makeup Inc. We just got trademarked at the very beginning of January. It's myself, and I have 14 girls on my team, and we service 4 locations right now. Aside of that, I am a business coach to bridal beauty pros as well as other creatives, but mostly bridal beauty pros. And I am the podcast host of the Beauty in the Network podcast, all where I talk about mindset, marketing, and lifestyle tips to help you up-level your life and business. So in 2013, let me tell you about what my life was looking like. So 2013, this is when I graduated cosmetology school, and I started, working in my part-time jobs. I was freelancing and I was doing everything under the sun, right? I didn't really have a niche. If you know what a niche is something that your brand is known for. So my bridal brand We're known for natural glam makeup, and we're also known for just bridal styling. We do offer additional services, but specifically, we are known for bridal. So in 2013, I was just doing everything under the sun. I was freelancing, doing hair, makeup, cuts, trims, working, at blow dry bars and all of these things, doing extensions. And I really wasn't focusing all of my eggs in one basket, or I really wasn't being too focused on one thing. So that's what I was doing in 2013. And going into 2014, I got my first business license at the age of 19 because I knew personally how I am built, that I wanted to create some kind of generational wealth for not just myself, but for the line of family members that come after me, right? I want to break the curse of my family and just create like a little ruckus in our generation line, right? And you do this by starting young, getting focused. And that's where my head was at when I was 19. I just knew that I wanted to, create a path for myself. And I was like, I'm just going to start by getting a business license. So while I was doing that, I was working, a couple of part-time jobs. As always, I talk a lot about working multiple part-time jobs throughout my story, but 80% of my checks when I was working at these additional part-time jobs, it went straight into bettering my craft. So I was taking classes on hair, I was taking classes on makeup, but I was not really taking any classes on the business side of things, which I'll kind of give you a timeline of how things started to shift once I started focusing on the business side of things. So 2015 to 2018, I slowly started to build my own freelancing career. And then I was, freelancing with other bridal hair and makeup companies, juggling part-time jobs still. I had 5 jobs at one time because I'm a crazy person. I refuse to be the victim in any situation. So I was always just trying to overachieve for myself, right? Because I just felt like I needed to be in, hustle mode 24/7, right? So all of my time was just getting invested into, working on my craft, growing my kit, my hair and makeup kit, and just networking. But I really wasn't doing anything on the back end, and it showed for a while. So let's go ahead and jump on into how my life really shifted in 2018. 2018 is when I invested in my very first coaching program that showed me how to bring a little bit of structure and a shift of mindset to my business, right? I was all over the place, and that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and, start, shifting my mindset, start thinking a little bit more positive, start, getting rid of those limiting beliefs. And what ended up happening for me is I started to see that I was missing so many pieces of the pie. And the pie was, I had to do more than post on social media and blog every once in a while, because this is what I was doing when I was getting serious with growing my business, right? I didn't really know about marketing, branding, sales structure, or, anything really. I was just, doing what I saw other people doing, and I can only see the front end. You can never see what somebody else is doing on the back end, right? So this is how people get caught up, and I sure got caught up for the first couple of years from the age of 19 to the year of 2018, right? So right around that time is when I actually figured out what a business actually needed in order to thrive. And it needs 5 things. It needs 5 things. So you need an irresistible offer, a product or a service, right? So number 1, if you have a bridal hair and makeup company, you need to, 1, know that it is your job as the business owner to position your product or your service to make it look irresistible to your potential client. So this requires saying more than, we provide on location hair and makeup, right? Or, we provide airbrush and traditional makeup and hairstyling or blah, blah, blah. Because guess what? 10 million people do the same exact thing that you do. So you have to be able to communicate your value as a business owner, as a service provider, why your product is the best on the market, right? And you do this with your packaging, your pricing, and how you position your product online, right? So positioning your product online is How are you talking about it on Instagram? How are you talking about it on Facebook, in Facebook groups, on your website? Right? So this is how you need to start thinking about it, as well as your pricing, which we'll get in a little bit later. But is your pricing reflective to what a luxury client would want to actually buy? A luxury client does not care about a price. They care about the experience, about the quality, about the value. And you, as the business owner, you need to show your potential client that you have the value, the quality throughout your content, throughout your website, throughout however you want to visually or verbally communicate that through your content, right? So that's number one. Your product needs to be irresistible. You have to make it sound juicy, right? And number two is you need a simple process to generate leads consistently. So earlier when I was talking about, reinventing the wheel, if we, did 80 Instagram posts last month and we were hustling in the Facebook group and hustling and, sending DMs and doing everything under the sun, last month, and we maybe got, 4 clients, right? If you wanted to do the same exact thing and book 4 more clients, you're going to think that you have to reinvent the wheel and do all of the things that you did before, right? Not really knowing what specifically got you those clients. What if you did 80 different things, but yet one thing got you the client? Focus your time on that one thing, right? I'm all about productivity. I'm all about being more intentional with less on your plate other than adding more and just kind of overwhelming yourself, right? I used to be a hustle queen 24/7, and I learned my lesson that I don't have to, work from, sun up to sundown to get a result. I just need to be intentional with my efforts, and then I see a big outcome off of what time I already put in, right? So we need a simple process to generate leads consistently. We're going to break that down a little bit more when I start telling you how you can create your own funnel of clients organically without ads. So let's talk about content that converts. I am a stickler when it comes to content, because the way that I view content is that your content should prepare your buyer for the sale, right? Your content should prep someone into, okay, let me tell you a little bit more about my brand. Let me tell you how I can help you. Let me tell you why we're the expert. Let me tell you why we know what the heck we're talking about, right? And then through your content, through your Instagram lives or your Instagram stories, your Facebook, your TikTok, your Snapchat, your LinkedIn, wherever you decide to show up in the social world, in your blogs, wherever you decide to show up, you need to be communicating your value. Not just, I'm going to show, our pretty hair and makeup. This is our bride, Becky, and Becky, she was amazing, and check out all of the cute hair and makeup photos on our site. Tell them about the experience. Tell them about the process. In order for someone to want to buy from you, you need to know the psychology of buying. People buy when they are feeling like their needs are going to get fixed, right? So going to a bride, what does a bride want? A bride does not want to look crazy on her wedding day, right? She wants makeup that's going to make her feel like herself, or, she wants makeup that's going to make her feel confident, and, she might want to make her fiance cry, right? And this is what we need to communicate verbally in our packaging, in our content, when we're showing up online. Because if we're just showing up online to just say like, oh, well, I forgot to post on Instagram, let me just, throw something up and get a few likes, but yet you didn't drive sales. So was that intentional, or was that just filling a gap of, let me just do something, right? I am all about, tough love, because these are some of the things that I really needed to hear when I was, still in the early stages of my business, because I had a lot of busy time. I had a lot of busy work that I was doing when I was trying to grow my business. I was focusing a lot of my time on the wrong things that got me nowhere. So this is why I love to, use this platform to just not only give you tips and tricks on, how to generate sales more consistently or how to create a little bit more structure in your business. But I wanted to let you know how you can just create a little bit of structure and see a big result, right? You need to have some kind of system that helps you convert sales and bring in more leads to your business on a consistent basis, because if you don't have a certain kind of funnel or a certain kind of system, you are always going to be, a slave to your business, right? You're always going to be working and working and working, but you want to make sure that you create a business that doesn't. I create a lot of systems. This is why I create a lot of structure, and it's because I was terrible at it. I was terrible at it, and this is what prompted me to sharing with you the mistakes that I had to go through that kept me stuck for a couple of years. And when I finally learned it and mastered it, I knew that I needed to help more people. I knew that I needed to, share this value, because when it comes to, growing your business and sharing value, I am sharing value to the people that do exactly what I do. And some people would say that that's crazy. Like, oh, well, they can steal your clients and they could do all of these things. But at the end of the day, my content is made for the types of clients that are going to be in line with me, and same for yours. You have your own special sauce, you have your own special niche, and that's what makes you stand out, right? So that goes into number 4. Standing out in a saturated market. Your business needs to be known for something, right? You need to be the go-to for that certain thing. Oh my gosh, I need to go to Allison because Allison always goes live on Wednesday and she talks about skincare. And I know I'm trying to get my skincare regimen together, so I need to look at her, right? What do you want somebody to know you for? Oh my gosh, I need to go over to Ashley's page because every Tuesday she posts like a before and after about one of her skincare clients that's, trying out a new service, right? I want to see how that can be me. How can I see the transformation, right? These are things that we need to start thinking of, because 9 times out of 10, whenever we are, working for someone else in their business, or we go apply at a job or whatever, they're going to train you on how to do the work. They're going to train you on what you need to do, what needs to get done, and how it gets done. But if you are the business owner, you have to create that yourself. So that's why I love number 5. Number 5 is framework and system. Now, I have created my own personalized 5-step method of what I use in my business. Anytime when I create a blog, anytime when I create a post, when I create a sales page, when I create a promotion, I use it for literally everything in my business. And it is something that I do teach with my one-on-one clients. If you do not know, I am a visibility and systems coach for beauty professionals. And what visibility and systems really mean is the framework of everything that I just shared. So creating content, standing out in a saturated market, lead generation system, and creating my offers. I do this by creating a framework within all of those parts so that I know each time that my brand shares something online that is going to be directly in alignment with who it is that I'm trying to attract. We do not use any ads right now for my bridal beauty business. I have trained my assistant on the topics that we talk about, on how we talk about it, on how we structure out stories, how we sell in our DM, not our DMs, our stories, and in our Instagram content and through our blogging. And the way that she takes what I teach her and recreate work is how I'm able to grow my team. So I have a hair and makeup team, and then I have a team on the back end where I have, people help me with, graphics, email communication, content management, social media and communications. I have trained them through a framework and system that I created. Now, if you do not want or desire to have a huge business like I do with, multiple states, multiple stylists, you don't have to. You don't have to. This is the structure and the basics to get you from square 1 to square 2 to square 3, and you can use it to actually grow over the years, but you have to make sure that you set everything up on that foundation first, right? So let's go ahead and talk about how I set up my foundation. So my foundation for my business is set upon a couple of things, or really it's based upon one. So anytime when I am setting up my foundation, I need to know what my services are, what offers am I selling, right? Where is my money coming from? So this is currently on the left-hand side where all of my money is generated in my business. Number one is, my bridal team, right? So I have my bridal team. I have virtual lessons and workshops. We have, a workshop coming up. We did a small test right when the pandemic started, and we did get some sales off of that, which is what triggered me into testing out a workshop. The workshop's actually going to be next month, but we already have people that are signed up for it. Now, you can do them a couple of ways. You can do them live, or you can do them pre-recorded and sell it. This is a great way to start making money online where you don't physically have to be with a client to generate income. As well as HoneyBook, I am an educator with HoneyBook. I freaking love HoneyBook. I've been talking about HoneyBook since before I was an educator with them. That's how much I love it. And it's just my CRM system. It's how I manage and retention and have client retention through the bridal company and my coaching business. Blog sales, we use affiliate links through Amazon, which anybody can sign up for. If you have products that you want to sell, or even like going to Sephora, there's certain brands that have affiliate programs that you can, link in your blogs or create some kind of welcome pack for your clients if you want them to get on like a really good skincare regimen. These are just possibilities that you can also put into your business. Coaching and my online programs and courses. I have my business blueprint course that is currently out, and I have smaller programs like my Master Your Marketing workshops and just smaller workshops that I have out. And these are different ways that I diversify my income, because what you don't want to do as a wedding hair and makeup artist, or as a hairstylist, or any profession in general, is you don't want to exhaust one source of income and put all of your effort there and not really set yourself up with a nice safety net. Because in times like this, if we are not able to, physically go out and cut some hair, or physically go out and do makeup, and then it's like, well, crap, well, how are we going to make money? You have to get a little bit creative. So that's where a lot of the virtual, products that we have and affiliate sales and blog promotions that we do, those are great fillers. There are a couple of things that we are going to be planning on doing later on in the year, which we're going to be testing out, but these are things that we are currently doing or have already done. So pricing for profit, number 2, going over to the middle section. So are your prices keeping you in hustle mode? So there's a ton of things when it comes to, pricing out your services. This can come up with, limiting beliefs around money, or, charging a lot. How does that make you feel when you charge a certain amount, right? Do you feel like you're not worthy of that price point? There's so many things, but there's certain things that you do want to make sure that you are mapping out when you are trying to price your services for profit. One is you need to determine your year revenue goal. What is your year revenue goal, right? Going back to your services and offer, my main product that I promote is my bridal service package, right? It's my 7-term package. It is the main package that we sell. It is, booked with myself or booked with my team. That's our highest, ranking package, and that's what we focus on. Second is my coaching business. So those are 2 things that I'm constantly promoting, even though we do offer, virtual workshops, affiliate links, and, programs and courses. I want to make sure that I am constantly promoting my big ticket package, because that is what's going to help me get to my year revenue goal, right? What something that I've been seeing a lot is, people have been pivoting and people are, doing short-term marketing strategies, which is amazing. People are doing short-term marketing strategies, which are amazing in the short run, but it's not really sustainable in a long-term run. So anytime when you want to, create money for the next month or create money for the next 2 months, you're going to have to constantly reinvent the wheel and, create more work for yourself because you don't have something that's already embedded into your business that's going to bring you money in regardless of your efforts, right? This is what we want to create. Next is determine how many of your main offer you need to actually sell. Don't mind my typo, guys. There's probably going to be 50 million of it because I actually wrote all these slides out myself. My assistant is the one that does most of the typing for my beauty business for this reason. But we want to make sure that you are selling your services or knowing how many services that you have to sell. Now, not only do you need to know how much services you have to sell, but break that down in a quarterly increment, right? I like to map out my year in 4 quarters, quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. That's January, February, March, and then, 3 months all tied in together. And each month I break down that goal. Okay, this month I only need to book, 5 clients, or, next month I need to book 6 clients. And you can go ahead and start mapping it out that way so that whenever you are, working on your monthly goals, you're looking at a shorter chunk of what it is that you need to accomplish that month, other than saying like, okay, well, my yearly goal is, XYZ, and, overwhelming yourself. You don't want to do that. Next is you want to analyze your rates, see if they are keeping you in hustle mode. You might need to do a price raise. Do you have to buy more materials for PPE? We need to make sure that we're factoring in those prices. Also, I already mentioned it, break down your year in quarterly chunks. So let's go over into marketing and sales. We want to be intentional, right? Just like I was saying, if you forget to post on Instagram, it's not about, getting likes or, like, let me just make sure that people know that I'm, still out here doing my thing, right? It's not about that, because if you're not being intentional when you show up, then people are going to say, oh, like, well, they're not going to say it, but you don't just want to fill a gap just because you feel like you need to just go out and kind of say, hey, like with your brand. You need to come out there with an action plan, right? Because we don't want to waste time creating a post or, going through hashtags and all of these things if we're just going to get 3 likes and no sales, right? So this is just the way that I think, right? Be intentional with your business. So number 1 is set your quarterly goal of how many clients you need to book and create an action plan to help you get there. This is your marketing strategy. 9 times out of 10, whenever somebody hears marketing strategy, I feel like they go like, she's speaking, a whole nother language, right? So when it comes to your marketing strategy is basically how you are selling your service. You can sell your service in a IG video. You can sell your service in IG stories, do some behind the scenes, create a post, create a blog, do a collaboration. There's so many ways that you can market, but there are a couple of ways that I specifically love to market. I love to market in my quarterly goals, right? So 1 quarter we might be in brand awareness marketing, right? And I'm just telling people about our services, why we're the best, what service we offer, what benefits and details do you get when you book us, right? Or I might be in, pre-launch mode where we're getting ready for engagement season, right? Engagement season is literally right around the corner, guys, if you're in the bridal beauty field. But, making sure that your pre-launch phase is, preparing those customers for the sale, right? We want to be intentional. So we might be sharing, before and afters, sharing a lot of our old testimonials, right? And then, that the third one would be actual launch mode, right? So launch mode would be based upon whatever service that we are selling. In my bridal beauty team, my main service is my Southern Charm package. So Southern Charm package is going to be something that we are constantly promoting. And if it's something that I'm constantly promoting, I'm already going to have some of this content already saved so that I can just go into my little hub or Word document or saved, whatever, and, pull out my content. Pull out, those same Instagram posts that work, those same blogs that work, republish it, reshare it. This is something that I do teach my one-on-one clients a lot of when it comes to repurposing your content. So you're not constantly having to make content. That's not what we want to do. We want to spend our time with our family. We don't create businesses so that we can work longer and harder hours. We create a business so that we can create our own rules. And sometimes we forget that, and we need the permission to actually do the things that we want to do. And I'm telling you and giving you the permission right now, you can reinvent the wheel. You can repurpose content. You don't always have to, sit down for hours and, think of content when you already have things that are working for you. So the last one is you need to create content that supports your profit goals and make sure that you track your results. So tracking your results is very huge because, like I said before, if you're constantly reinventing the wheel and you're not tracking your results, the thing that you are going to feel like you have to do is you're going to feel like you have to do everything that you did last month in order to get a client. But if you can just focus on, okay, well, Instagram is definitely bringing in all of my clients, or, vendor referrals are definitely bringing in all of my clients. I need to focus all of my efforts there. You need to know where you need to focus so that you can grow and expand off that one thing or two things that are working. And then that's when you can start to scale out a little bit more once you start figuring out what actually works for you. So let's go ahead and talk about how you can start getting leads more consistently, right? So just like I was saying, right, you don't want to keep constantly reinventing the wheel. Let me sip my water right quick, guys. So your content should prep your buyer for the sale, right? We already went over this. So currently right now, ask yourself, where are you showing up online right now? And what is your brand looking like? Is it a little bit inconsistent, or do you have, mixed messaging? Are all of the links the same? Do they go back to the same page? Is it really giving somebody a good look and feel of what it would feel like to be your client, right? Or does it just show them like, hey, like we just do a whole ton of things, right? And we're just looking for clients, right? How is your vibe coming off to your clients? You want to make sure that any platform that you're using, whether it is, a website or a friend of a friend of a friend who is, just doing like word of mouth referrals. Are you doing any kind of paid advertising, right? Where are you showing up online? Google reviews, Instagram, Google, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all of these places, your website, you need to know, what does your brand currently look right now? So over here at the very bottom left, you can see that I have my little version of my client funnel that I always talk about. So if you are new here, I always talk about my client funnel. And this is basically how people find you, right? So you have the levels of awareness, right? Where people just find out your brand. So imagine that you had a Facebook page that you made 3 years ago for your business that you forgot about. But, somebody just Googles something in and they find your Facebook page, right? They find your Facebook page that you haven't been on in 3 years, and now they think, oh, she hasn't posted in 3 years. She's probably not, accepting any clients. She's probably like out of business or something like that, right? So they're not even going to move down to even analyze your brand anymore, right? Because that's what they just saw. Same thing. If you have a website with broken links, you need to constantly be, checking into your brand, because sometimes links just randomly stop working for some odd reason. But you need to make sure that you are always constantly checking out to see, how your brand is doing and how it's looking online, right? So we already know what we need to be doing. We already know that we should be posting on Instagram, creating content that really converts their client, speaking to their needs, speaking to what they really want from us as a bridal hair and makeup artist, right? It's not just, okay, well, my work isn't good enough, because you don't have to be the best at your craft. It's about how you market yourself, right? You don't need to be the best. You just need to know how to market yourself. Once you know how to market yourself, the sky is literally the limit. But the number one thing about what's really holding us back, especially with marketing, is ourselves. Because when it comes to marketing, that requires that we put ourselves out in the open. We have to get seen. We're opening ourselves up for judgment of other people. Look at her promoting her little business, right? Look at her thinking she's all that and like a bag of chips. Like, oh, she's out here promoting her business in a pandemic, and like, how can she be so selfish or whatever it is? I've seen so many of my, wedding vendor friends, photographers, planners, who at the start of the pandemic, they were dealing with heat because they were still showing up and promoting their business, as I was too, because just because the world throws, something at you, it doesn't mean that you have to play victim and just let, life happen to you. You have to decide that you are going to take control of the situation by being in control of you. And the way that you be in control of you is mastering yourself, your confidence, and your mindset. Confidence in your mindset is something that has propelled my business to things that I have not even, imagined it being, right? When I first started my business, I was not looking to have a team. I was not looking to, have people work for me. But as I evolved, my business idea evolved. And as I, kept evolving, the more I wanted to help, the more I wanted to serve, the more I wanted to use, the things that I was, blessed enough to do in my business and share it with others. We do a lot of, charity work. We do a lot of, contributing to nonprofits. And these are the reasons why I choose to put aside fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of just the unknown. Because if you are never willing to bet on yourself and to see if you have what it takes to thrive, then you will never really see what your full potential is. And I don't know about you, but to me, I want to be able to, have little kiddos one day. I don't have any kids. My dog is my child. But whenever I have kids, to say, look at what your mom did. Your mom overcame so many things. I never let fear get in the way. I never chose to be the victim. So when they have hard times, that I can tell them, you are strong. You are capable of anything, and not feel like I'm a hypocrite, right? I don't want to tell them you can do anything that you want to do, but yet I'm afraid to do anything that I want to do, right? And that's what I want for you too. That's what I want for you. And this is why I share my story of, how I, had years of just dealing with limiting beliefs, personal, issues, feeling like I couldn't charge a high enough price, or that I, had to look a certain way in order to attract the types of clients that I wanted to, or talk a certain way to attract those clients. And I really lost myself. And what really brought me back is my authentic self, me showing up as who I am, and people gravitated towards it. Because like I said before, standing out in a saturated market requires you showing up as you showing up with your own special, twang, your own special, thing. And people who are for you, they're going to gravitate towards you, because at the end of the day, just in business as in life, you are not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. I know that. I'm, animated, I'm a little comedic, but I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. And you have to be okay with that too. So now that you know that you can change the way that you operate in business right now, this moment, this hour, after you, get done with this lesson in a couple of minutes, you can change it. But you just have to decide that your faith is bigger than your fear. Don't let fear of not knowing what's going to work out, not knowing the next step, not knowing, if this is really going to work. So many times I thought that, I don't know if it's going to work for me. Like, I'm not a girl that, went to college, right after high school. I went into trade school. I went into cosmetology school. So this is all that I know, but I am, so proud that last year my business in 2019, my bridal team and I brought in almost $80,000. That was way more than my business has ever made. The year before that, we brought in a little bit over $50,000. So we're always constantly growing. And it's because that structure, it was because of those systems that I implemented and a little bit of aggression of just being fed up of, working for other people, draining my energy and knowing that I wasn't utilizing my full potential. And I was ready to see how far I could go. And I want you to go far too. So let me share my timeline with you. So back in 2013, as I mentioned before, that is when I left cosmetology school. Guys, look at me, I look like a baby. I had to like crop up my photos so small because I didn't want to showcase everybody in my class. I was a Paul Mitchell grad, and it was an amazing experience for me. So in 2014, 2015, I spent all my checks learning about my craft and spent zero on the business side of my business. I did not spend any time on my business, and I mean on the business side of things, and it showed because I was constantly working part-time jobs, as I kept saying, well, when I get the time, when I get the money, when I get, all of these things, but I just kept making excuses for myself of what I needed to have in order to start my business. I started my business in 2014 at the very early start of September. It was September 5th, I believe September 5th or September 9th. I have to check because I know my business is having a birthday coming up really soon, but we did that. And as I was, building up my craft, I knew nothing about hair and makeup. So you can see, have a photo of myself and Miss Tatiana Ward, who actually just started following me on Instagram, guys. Her name is Beat Face Honey. She has done makeup for Brandy Norway. Freaking love her. If you've ever seen the show Moesha, that's who Brandy Norway is, as well as Nicki Minaj and so many other people. And she's just so talented and she's such a sweet soul. But I was spending all of my checks on just learning how to do hair and makeup. So 2016, 2017, this is when I really started, freelancing with other bridal beauty hair and makeup teams in my area. I am born and raised from Charleston, South Carolina. This is the mecca of wedding destination location, and my business was able to thrive in a very oversaturated market in the bridal beauty field in Charleston. So that is just a huge accomplishment right there. But I was freelancing with teams and I was starting to get a little bit more serious of building out my portfolio. So what I ended up doing was I started to do a ton of styled shoots. So I was, working with other photographers, working with other planners, and slowly, very slowly building my name out there and, just creating some amazing work for my portfolio to share. So in 2018 is when I was, here, I invested into my business for the very first time. And that is when I saw, exponential growth in my business. I got structure. I was, just winging it in my business. I was just saying like, okay, well, today I'm going to do this and today I'm going to do that. And I really didn't have any structure. I didn't really have a system. I didn't really have a flow. And now, I don't know if you follow me over on Instagram, but you can see if you go to my Instagram highlights, I show a lot of the back end of my business. I show you my Asana. I show you how I get very technical and very detailed into my workflow, mapping out my lead process, mapping out my blog creation process. And I share those with you in my stories. So that you can see this is how I structure out things. That's where my expertise comes in. That's where I shine, because once you have those structures, you can hand it off to anyone and say, hey, go manage Instagram, or hey, go manage email communication, or hey, go manage whatever, while you go on vacation and still bring in money to your business because you have it set up to scale, not just with you doing, on location hair and makeup services, right? You want to make sure that you think with a bigger picture. So this is what it was looking like for me back in 2018. Excuse me, guys. So what I ended up doing at the very mid part of 2018, right around June time, is I got fed up. I got fed up and I got really serious about, creating my own exit plan. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I was coming home and, something was just telling me, for the longest, Jasmine, this is not for you. You need to be doing something bigger and better with your time, right? So what I was doing was I kept putting it off and putting it off. Anytime when I thought about, stepping out, building a brand for myself, but I knew that in order for me to build a brand, I cannot do everything by myself. I can't be everywhere and take all of the bookings. So I decided I'm going to grow a team. It just came to me one day and I said, I'm going to grow a team. And that same day that I, came home, I was a little pissed off and I just decided it's going to be my business or nothing, because the way that I've been living for years, working 5 jobs, working part-time jobs, and just never getting close to where I was aiming for. And it was because I kept making excuses. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have, the resources, right? I was not resourceful. I was not a make a way, find a way. I was playing victim. And what I needed to do is what I started doing is I would come home from those jobs when I was working those 5 part-time jobs. And I remember the days when I would, wake up at, 5 o'clock to clock in at 6 o'clock, to, clock out at noon, to drive across town, to clock in at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, be there from 2 to 5:30, clock out, drive all the way back across town from 6:30 to 10. I would, work that job. And then, once we did, like the cleanup and everything, I would be home around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And from 11 o'clock to, at 6 o'clock hour that I had to clock back in, I was working on my business, because I knew that my business was not going to create itself. I knew that I kept saying, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get these things together. But year after year, I just got farther and farther away from it, because I was not actively focusing all of my attention on what it is that I was trying to create, right? So my question to you is, where is all of your attention going right now? Where is all of your attention going? I'm very big into mindset and personal development, because mindset and personal development is what took me from, hitting $3,000 a month in my bridal beauty business and sales to hitting 6,000, 8,000, consistent months in my bridal beauty business. Last month in July, I just mapped out some of my sales and I saw that we made a little bit over $6,673-ish in sales, and it was with little effort, little. And for me to say with little effort, I laughed at it a little bit, because I remember the days when I thought, in order for me to make, that kind of money, I need to be working, sun up to sundown and just doing the most. That's what I was used to, because I had that hustle mindset. So a good quote that I actually found off of Pinterest. I love Pinterest for quotes, right? So people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures, right? What habits are you currently using right now that you're trying to avoid the bigger picture? You know that you need to create the content, but you might not know how to do it. You might not know how to map it out. We went through a ton of things already, and how to create your own irresistible offer, mapping out your prices so that they're attractive to high-end brides, creating consistent leads in your business. But you might be wanting to go way deeper, right? That's already amazing value. That's already, so much that can take your business to the next step. But it's not about, working, longer hours, harder hours, posting more on Instagram. It's about putting your intention in the right areas, right? So just like I mentioned before at the start of this workshop, I wanted to tell you, for those of you who are interested in going a little bit deeper into what it takes to actually build a sustainable business that you will love, that will not burn you out, and still reap the benefits of it growing and it scaling, and you being able to work less time but still see a great value in the profit that you bring in, right? So that is why I want to tell you just very quickly at this very end, because we are all done with the training. But I do want to tell you, if you are still here, about how you can work with me a little bit more if you want to go a little bit deeper into building out a brand that works for you and not against you. So let me tell you a little bit about my group coaching program. So like I mentioned before, I'm Jasmine Jones. I am a visibility and systems business coach. Visibility as in I want to help you get seen by the right people, right? Just like we said, you're not for everyone. My brand is not for everyone. Our prices are definitely not for everyone. So we need to be intentional with how we are showing up and how our brand is perceived. My coaching program is built to help you build up your brand as well as yourself, your authority, your credibility, and your visibility on and offline. So if you're someone who needs help creating your own personal package of services that you offer, if you're in the beauty field, then this is definitely for you. If you want to learn how when I first started getting really serious in my business and how I grew my business without using any ads, I had my own strategies that I created. One that helped me with brand awareness, one that helped me with, building community around my brand, and one that just helped me get seen more and generate leads in my business. I have a ton of different customized strategies that I have created in my business that I rinse and repeat in my brand on the regular. And it's helped me so much because I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel either. And content that creates is so important. It's so important because if your content is not converting a potential client into a person that wants to book with your business, then you're really doing a disservice for your brand because you are putting time, effort, and energy into something that's not currently working, and we need to change that. And you do that through your content and through my STIC method of how I help you get that done, right? So I already talked about building your credibility and your visibility with your quarterly brand campaigns. Yeah, so for the quarterly campaigns, those are some of those strategies that I love to do. Specifically when it comes to the holiday time, our holiday marketing is already mapped out. Our Black Friday marketing is already mapped out. There's just some just like graphics and details like in the designs that is getting finalized, but those details are already done. So these are just some of the things that I help you set up within your business so that you can have long-term success. So using my stick method to help you maximize sales on and offline. So my stick method is all about your service, your product, how you teach your potential clients of why they need to be booking with you, the interest, how are you keeping their interest in long term, right? C is convert them, and then K is keep them coming back, right? Just because we're in the bridal beauty field, it does not mean that we can't have repeat clients, right? We can have repeat clients, but we want to make sure that we're doing it strategically in a way that's going to help us meet our revenue goals, right? So lastly is creating a converting website that helps you attract your high-end dream clients. So this is something that I was talking about in my stories a little bit earlier this week. Was there's a huge difference between having a converting website and having a pretty website. For the longest time, I had a pretty website that I would spend, hours and days on, which led me to no sales because I spent all of my time working on my website and not enough time promoting and marketing because I was unaware that I needed to actually market on the regular. I thought it was like an event, like, oh, we're doing something, I'm going to, like send out some kind of marketing campaign. But now I know that these are things that need to be embedded within my business. And this is how I grow. But when we are, creating a website, we need to make sure that there's a couple of things that are on your website because clients are going to buy based upon what you visually give them, right? Sometimes we feel like we don't want to give them the whole kit and caboodle right at the start, but think about it. If other people, not other people are giving them a whole kit and caboodle, but just enough details and information about your brand, your services, and who you've already helped through your client testimonials and reviews that they can use to analyze your business with competitors. So if your business, if your website does not have a couple of things that really need to be on your website, just like reviews, as I mentioned, social proof. How are you the expert? Content that converts. What verbiage do you have on your website? There's a way that you formulate that, and you can do that with the stick method that I teach you. But this is all of the details, plus a little bit more that I specifically go over in my one-on-one coaching program. My one-on-one coaching program is very customizable to whatever your needs are. This is why it is one-on-one. It is not a group program. You're not going to have to compete for, attention. You do get individual attention in your brand, on your business, and we can work on whatever it is that you need help scaling, mastering, or just, tweaking a little bit more so you can see a higher conversion rate in your business. So these are things that I teach you, along with some other fun things when it comes to social media and how I map out social media campaigns through, just basic free marketing that anybody can do right now to grow their business, that you can reach out and actually book a 100% free complimentary 5-figure business strategy call with me. On this strategy call, we're going to be going over 3 things. One, we're going to go over, where your brand is right now. How is your brand looking? We're going to do a nice brand audit. We're going to see what is keeping you stuck and how you can actually get unstuck and start working to shift some of those things that aren't working right now so that you can see a result after this phone call, as well as if you would be a great fit for my private coaching. So one thing about my private coaching is I am very honest. I'm not going to give you, sugar-coated answers. I'm here to help you, bust through limiting beliefs. I want you to see results. I want you to grow, but I want you to be dedicated and to do the actual work, right? So it is an application that I will attach somewhere or in a email that you will receive. And for me, it's not that anyone that can apply will be able to work with me, because we have to be a good match, because I'm not just in the business of, taking people's money. I want to make sure that this is going to be a great fit for you and that you have the time and the dedication to actually do what is required of you to see the results that you want to achieve, because it's all about doing the work. Sometimes you have to do the inner work and the outer work, mesh it together, and you got magic. So I want to make sure that you are going to be a great client for me to work with, and so that you can see a little bit how I teach, how I map out things, how I break things down, because it is a little bit different in my style of teaching. I did go to school for to be a cosmetology instructor, but that's a whole nother story. But I do teach a little bit differently, and I mix in a lot of mindset with my work. So if you're looking for, an overall up level in your business and your mindset, do reach out to me. But thank you so much for joining me in this training, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and if you would like to upgrade so that you can get the workbook of, how you can map out your own bridal beauty business to attract high-end clients, then you can get those details in an email coming to you soon. Bye, guys.